Tell him the man in black sent you.
Superhero movies make a lot of money, and for good reason too. They've got amazing characters, beautiful visuals, but most importantly, they've got badass fights that would even please the gods of entertainment. The TV Regent happens to be one of them, so here I am today, presenting the best god-level fights in the movies. Like, share, and subscribe, because that's the way I prefer to be worshipped. I know that the MCU has a lot of lovable characters, but let's not forget that the OG superhero everyone loved right from the comics was our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Peter Parker has been such an icon of pop culture that it's hard to ignore him, regardless of the actor who's playing him. Yeah, I know Tobey Maguire is the fan favorite, but Andrew Garfield has always been an underdog, and I want to shower him with some appreciation today. Not that I'm doing him a favor or anything like that. His final battle with Electro was epic.
Not this time. Is that all you got? Come on!
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 had a few brief moments in an otherwise dull runtime, and this scene clearly took the cake. Not only is it nicely coordinated, the sequence benefits from an impressive storyboard, and the results kind of speak for themselves. Well, maybe not in the box office, but you know what I mean, don't you? The Rock's famous for a lot of things, you know. He's into business, wrestling, acting, and even teaches Chinese in his spare time.
Let The Rock tell you in Chinese. Ding bong ding dong, he's stone cold aye.
Now, Dwayne Johnson is busy defeating demonic gods with immeasurable power. The final battle between Black Adam and Sabbac can be summed up in one word: hectic. Of course, I don't need to explain the scale because it's literally like one of those mythical encounters in Greek literature. The fight had a few stops and starts, but eventually gave us a rather satisfying conclusion, although I still think it's a bit brutal for a family-friendly movie.
Tell him the man in black sent you.
Either way, it was a highly enjoyable moment with the right amount of action, drama, and visually pleasing CGI. You really got to appreciate that nowadays with all the questionable effects we're seeing on Disney+. Just take me back to the good old days when we had visuals like in the OG Iron Man. You might have thought I was going to include the Battle of the Dragons for this one, eh? Now, while that might have been a great guess, there's something about watching a father and son fighting it out that makes me emotionally charged. Don't worry, I don't have daddy issues or anything like that, okay? Of course, the most notable aspect of the fight is the Asian influence surrounding it, and I love the martial arts display between Shang-Chi and Wen-Wu. I've been a huge fan of Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee films growing up, and this fight was as close as modern Hollywood was ever going to get when it comes to paying homage to them. More than anything else, it was the drama that added an extra punch to, well, the punches. I did say this video was going to have god-level fights, so it's only fair that I include a battle between two literal gods. The first, Wonder Woman, was a nicely executed movie which managed to combine the strengths of Zack Snyder's writing and Patty Jenkins' direction. It gave us a lot of epic moments to cherish, but none can triumph over the glorious final battle, which not only showcased Princess Diana's true powers, but also allowed her some inner reflection. It was more of an acceptance scene than a brainless fight, which is what made the whole thing even more impactful. There's a lot I love about this sequence, and I'm not just saying that because it's got Gal Gadot in, okay, I swear. Anyway, to see our favourite boss babe dominate Ares like he's a little sheep was nothing short of spectacular. On that note, you know, I'm wondering if we could get a Snyder cut for Wonder Woman 1984. I don't even think he'd be able to save that mess.
Pathetic. He deserves a ban.
You're Bruce Banner. Right. Don't mention puny Banner.
Age of Ultron is probably the most forgettable out of all the Avengers movies, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't have its merits. This is the film that introduced us to Wanda and Vision, but most importantly, it gave us the epic battle between Hulk and Iron Man's Hulkbuster. What I really liked about the fight was the length. It felt appropriately drawn out because when you have such immense forces pitted against each other, you need to allow the scene to just breathe a little and make its impact. We all know that the Hulk doesn't like puny gods, so Tony Stark makes sure he gives him an experience of a lifetime. Yeah, I know it's pretty much an endless supply of CGI, but I prefer to look at the fight as one of the most brutal encounters in MCU history. I mean, I'm really serious. The only reason the battle doesn't look that deadly is because both the fighters have a crazy amount of strength and resistance. Send Loki in between and see what happens. Like, share and subscribe because I'm a lot more than just a puny god. Alright then, on to the next one. Technically, this is a battle amongst mortals, but it holds up much better than most god fights in cinematic history. Captain America Civil War had everyone hyped for more reasons than one, but the most important was obviously the prospect of seeing our favourite superheroes pitted against each other in an epic fight to the death. There aren't any apocalyptic displays of power here. It's a simple battle involving two bros on super soldier steroids against a genius, billionaire playboy philanthropist. Simplicity is the key, isn't it? Captain America and Iron Man have been flagship characters of the MCU, and although Bucky felt more like a side piece, he did turn out to be the decisive factor in the outcome. The scene is intense and highly symbolic of the key themes of the film, most notably conflict. I guess that's why it lands in my top 5. So while Civil War might have been the winner of the box office battle, it doesn't take anything away from the fact that Batman vs Superman deserves more love than hate. Yeah, I know it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but the warehouse scene is definitely the DCEU's most badass battle ever. It's like Ben Affleck just randomly woke up one day and chose violence for all the memes he's birthed. Bro defeated Superman and saved his mom from a bunch of ruthless assassins right after that. I guess Bruce really wanted to show off the results of all of those workouts, didn't he? But on a serious note, just observe the entire fight scene. Batman dominates the assassins to such an extent that their leader was wetting his pants just by listening to the Dark Knight thrashing his sidekicks. Bro even took a bullet to the head while he was at it. The fight choreography was super impressive, and the standout moment for me was seeing Batman break into Martha's hostage room through the freaking wall. He definitely wasn't playing, was he?
I believe you.
Hey, Banner.
No banner, only Hulk.
There's always this ongoing debate regarding who the strongest Avenger was. Iron Man might have put his money on the Hulk, but if this scene from Thor Ragnarok is anything to go by, well, I guess Tony Stark wouldn't mind losing a few bucks. The encounter between Thor and the Hulk was definitely worthy of the audience watching it, not just in the cinema halls, but also in the movie itself. Seeing two overpowered heroes trading blows and flexing their strength was definitely a positive example of fan service. It didn't even need to be more than that, because the whole point of the movie was to not take it too seriously. Unfortunately, Taika Waititi kinda let that go to his head, and the result clearly showed. Go watch the latest John Wick movie, Taika. That's how you make a 4th installment. Come on, Superman has to be included more than once. He's the god we deserve and need. The world expected big things from Henry Cavill when he made his debut as Clark Kent in Man of Steel, and he didn't disappoint. As a matter of fact, it's not considered blasphemy to call him a better Superman than Christopher Reeves himself. Of course, everyone is entitled to their opinions, but it's safe to say that Superman's encounter with Zod in 2013 was more entertaining than what we saw in 1980. I mean, you can't ignore the magnificently directed chaos that eventually forced Kal-El to become an anti-hero by snapping Zod's neck. I wonder if this was the kind of stuff Taylor Swift was thinking about when she wrote the song. Now I know this is actually in the middle of multiple fights, but it's also the only time we get to see Doctor Strange actually flex his magic powers to a respectable degree. Thanos is by far the MCU's greatest villain, and it's for this very reason why the Infinity Saga closed out on such a high note. Infinity War gave us a good look at the overpowered Titan's abilities when he took on guys like Iron Man, Spider-Man, and the Guardians of the Galaxy all at once. However, it's Stephen Strange who manages to match him move for move in a sequence that enchanted me just as much as it raised my adrenaline levels. I mean, this is the same guy that made the Hulk and Thor look like the latest additions to the Toy Story franchise. You cannot take him lightly. The fight might not have ended in Strange's favour, but we sure got a brilliant memory out of it.
Bet you never once used your greatest weapon, a fake.
If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and check the description for links to my socials. In the meantime, here's another video that I know you're going to enjoy.